If I wanted to move to the US in 2026, this is exactly what I would do. See, the thing is, most people who dream of moving to the US will never actually make it. I see so many entrepreneurs get lured in by the promise of the American dream, right? Only to end up wasting months, if not years, getting caught up in the system because of bad advice. The worst part is, it's not even their fault. The process is extremely overwhelming, but it's not all bad news. We've guided over 1,000 clients here from 65 different countries through this exact journey with over 95% success rate. So in this video, I'm going to give you the exact 3-step framework I would personally use if I wanted to come to the United States in 2026. This is no generic, fluffy advice you would find anywhere else. This is your real, no BS guide to successfully moving to the United States this year. By the way, if you're wondering why you should trust me, my name is Aladdin. I moved to the US myself. I worked in the investment migration industry for almost a decade now, and I currently work with Visa Franchise, helping entrepreneurs and investors obtain residency here. In fact, I was once a Visa Franchise client, and I'm here not only as a professional, but as an immigrant who's been there through it all. And it all starts with the level 1, which is the foundation. I have some notes here, and I took down notes that are important to me and stuff that I usually say in these conversations that we would have. But first things first, this is what I say. Mindset shift is the key. You gotta understand that, the life back home is no longer possible for the next 2 years in the US. This is gonna be challenging, at least for the next 2 years, because there are a lot of moving parts, right? One part of it is, let's say you choose the E-2 investor visa. Okay, you're gonna have to make a substantial investment, open up a business. Maybe you're a successful employee, but now you're being an entrepreneur. You're moving to another country. You're going through an immigration process, which is often complicated. All these things will require a mindset shift. The success that you enjoyed in your home turf isn't going to give you a great advantage here. You're just going to be like, everybody else going through the process, and you got to be mentally tough. You got to be mentally tough. Your spouse, your kids, whomever so you're doing this move with, they have to be tough. And we understand. Maybe you're feeling stuck in your home country because of high taxes. Maybe you feel like your country is not business friendly, or there's a glass ceiling over your head and preventing you from reaching to your fullest potential, and you're eyeing the United States of America. That's all good news, but the process is overwhelming. Which visa category to opt for, right? You got your E-2s, your L1s, your O1s, talent visas, immigrant visas, non-immigrant visas. First things first, you got to research all that. That's what I have done. I opened up my computer, I watched a lot of YouTube videos, I used ChatGPT, Gemini, and describe your situation. Ask them who you are, what their advice for your situation would be. And once you've done that, you need to normalize the confusion, right? You got to normalize the confusion and understand that, look, everybody goes through it. It's a learning curve. You're going to have to learn this stuff. And the important thing is, whichever your path is going to be, whether that's going to be an E-2 visa or L1 visa, you should be ready. You should be ready in terms of, let's say you're going to invest and open up a business. All right, I need to get my funds ready. For anybody to take me seriously and give me genuine advice, I want to present a persona that they can work with, right? So there is something for them as well. So get your funds ready, get your ideas ready, and create your own, playbook. The key takeaways here, I would definitely write down, have a notebook, write down what my plan is and what my success would look like. I would definitely use AI to brainstorm certain pathways, go on certain websites and take eligibility tests, like we have one at visafranchise.com. You could do consults for sure, paid or unpaid, and be ready to commit. Be ready to commit financially, not only to the consultant or the immigration attorney, whomever so you're working with, but also for the process as well. So that's the first things first, right? Okay, so you've done that. The second level, I'd say you need to build a system. Now, the system is very important. Paying a consultant doesn't just do a magic for you. They're obviously going to do what best is for them or best of their abilities, but you still have your responsibilities, right? Your responsibility is to come up with your perfect scenario. How does my life in the United States look like? What is that this business that I'm going to be doing look like? Where is it located in? What industry is it at? What do I see myself doing on a year-to-year, on a day-to-day basis? What's my life going to look like in the next, second year, third year, fourth year? What's going to be my path like for the green card, maybe, if a non-immigrant visa is your choice? So all these things are very important. You need to have a successful playbook, and you should be able to articulate what those plans look like. One thing to sort of like mention here, again, somebody who's been there and done that, and this is what I did. I was first eyeing the E-2 visa, and I went online and I said, okay, what if I buy a business, right? That's not going to require my full-time commitment, something that would have an asset or something that's already there and established, and I would buy it and it would give me a smoother transition. Like a laundromat, for example. I went on a Biz Buy Sell and scrolled through businesses, 100K, semi-absentee, already established business, a Subway store, a liquor shop, a convenience store, a laundromat, whatever the case may be. Very quickly, I realized that that's just garbage. That is garbage. No self-respecting business will sell itself for 100K. And you got to understand that your visa will be dependent on that particular business, right? In such cases, we advise our clients to look either for a franchise or do a business that they're already doing in their home country, move that business here or branch out here, or do something that they know. At the very least, if you're going to buy an existing business, make sure that you're buying the assets of the business and the foundation of the business, and you have a good setup and good understanding of how you're going to make that work. And again, you should be financially prepared to do so. This could be, you could be a great cook. You would buy a restaurant mainly for the infrastructure of it, right? And you have your own recipes, and you're going to come in and you know exactly how you're going to be running it. But the pressure is on you. If, let's say, you opted for the franchise route, well, first of all, what we need to understand is that just because we have the money, the franchisor doesn't have to sell us a particular territory, or, they may not like our profile, the area that we're planning to move to, territory would not be available there. All of these things are important, and buying a franchise is a complex process. What we do here at Visa Franchise is that we first send you some questionnaires, you provide us information, and this information usually details how you're expecting your life to look like. Where are you going to be based? How much money you're investing in? What are some of the industries that you're investing in? As well as your personal and professional background. What are some of the core competencies that you're bringing on the table? So we do a bit of a career coaching there. To find out what the best franchise for you would look like. Then we would introduce you to the franchisors, and from then on, it's a usual process. The key takeaways, I'd say here, create your immigration and business plan, right? The immigration plan, very important. What do we say? All right, you want to come to the U.S. with a non-immigrant visa. Maybe later on, if you like everything here, you might need to look into a certain green card path. That's very important. And also your business plan. What are you going to be doing here? It's very important. And you should be deciding on the business structure. Again, is this going to be your own business? Are you going to buy an existing one? Or are you going to open up a franchise? It's very important. And the last thing I'd say, talk to people who've done it. I myself didn't do this particular part because I was a client of Visa Franchise, and I spoke to Patrick, and Patrick showed me a path, which was the O1 visa, and I didn't follow up with my E-2. But what I would have done is that I would talk to people who've done it. There are so many others who have done the E-2 visa, bought a franchise, opened up their businesses. I would have talked to these people, asked about what went right, what went wrong, how their relationship is with the franchisor like. Before we go to the level 3, which is the execution part, reach out to Visa Franchise, take the eligibility test, and fill out the questionnaire. We'll review it, and let's see what we can do for you. We'll hop on a discovery solution call. It's a diagnostic call. We try to understand what the best visa path or business path for you is. Now, provided you've done that, now you're at the execution path, right? And you hired your consultant, your immigration attorney, or a company like Visa Franchise, whomever so is going to help you. Now it's time to decide on whether you're going to be registering an LLC, a C Corp, an S Corp, a holding company, whatever that's going to look like. You should be articulating that, and you and your consultant should find a good path for you, both for your immigration and for your business as well. It's time to now to transfer in your funds and do everything kosher and everything by the book. Document collection, it's very important. Just because you're working with a consultant does not necessarily mean that they'll just organize everything for you. There is a sheer amount of responsibility on your shoulders to provide clean paperwork that's translated, that's by the book, so that you can create a pretty decent petition. Now, provided you've done all that, your business is operational now, even at a limited capacity, your petition's being put together and it's being filed. Now it's the time, the consular interview, right? Again, this is very important. Be very open, direct, and honest, and simplify. Simplify. What's this business about? Where is it located at? What are your ties to your home country? I own this property. I have a mother-in-law. I have part of my family in my home country. I'm not looking to overstay my visa. My business is kosher. I made a substantial investment. My funds are at risk. Here's my business plan. This is why my business isn't marginal. Simpler, more thorough, the truthful your interview is, easier it'll be for you to get your visa. Let's say you got your visa. Congratulations. Now it's time to make your move to the United States of America. Again, I can tell you guys, take it with a pinch of salt, okay? It's not easy to move to another country. You're going to have to deal with the SSN. Let me get my SSN number, my health insurance, my business insurance. I want to rent an apartment and they want 6 months up front. I want to buy a car. I learned to take everything with a pinch of salt. It's a phase, but once you have your SSN number, once you have your bank account, once you have your drive score, your driver's license, your credit score, you're pretty much set. From then on, it's going to be an enjoyable and a fruitful, of course, not without challenges, but journey towards up, right? The former glory days that you enjoy back in your home country will be possible after that particular process. Again, just like we said in the beginning, mindset shift is very important. This is the process. This is what it entails. It's important for one to be mentally and financially prepared for what's ahead. Final takeaways. I'd said launch your business with a proper guidance. Be obsessive about your documents. Be truthful and simple at the interview. Stay calm during the transition and take it with a pinch of salt. This is what I would have done if I was to immigrate to the US in 2026. And this is my humble advice to you. So if you guys stayed up until this point of the video, please consider giving the video a like, subscribing to the channel. Go on visafranchise.com if what we do resonates with you. Take the eligibility test, send in an inquiry, schedule a discovery solution call. We'll see what we can do for you. Until next time, take care.